How hard do you rub your wood?
Hey everybody, this is Matt with Texas Toast Guitars, where safety is always the third priority. With me today is Mike Learn, and we're going to talk about something that I like to call, if it looks like shit and you paint it, it looks like painted shit.
That's probably a good way to sum it up.
So, Mike, I always sand raw wood to 220 before putting any finish on it. How, you go further than that, right?
Well, it depends on what I'm trying to do. If it's a natural, finish.
Camera's over there, Mike.
Okay, let me talk to both of you guys. I'll do Marty Feldman on your ass right now. Okay, I can see both of you at the same time. All right, here we go. So anyways, back to the sanding. I go to 320 just in general because, 220 can raise the grain pretty high.
Okay.
And it'll hide some things, because it does raise the grain so much. It might hide some surface flaws. 320 takes it down a little smoother, and it gives you a chance to, look at it one more time.
So there's no real disadvantage to going further than 320, right?
Only if you're going to have a highly figured piece of wood. And then the higher you go, the more it's going to bring out that figure.
Okay.
So if you go to, there's a certain point where you're crossing over, you're just polishing wood.
Yep.
400, 500 on something highly figured and it depends on what you're sealing with, So
okay.
If you're using a polyester sealer, sure, 220 is great. One whack with 220, boom.
Because that polyester is so thick.
It's gonna, but it will still raise the grain. Depending on the type of wood. Basswood, for example, alder.
Okay.
Mahogany's tight enough. It's gonna.
So alder would be like the standard fender wood. What would you go to on that if you're using the polyester sealer that we use?
Am I painting it or am I going with the natural?
We're
finish?
gonna paint this someday.
Then I would say 320 is just routine for me.
That'd be the minimum you'd go is 320, and then you'd shoot it with sealer.
That'd be the highest I go. The minimum I would go would be like 220.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have sealed guitars. No, I'm gonna paint them with 220 just because
Have you ever just right off the thickness sander and boom, shoot that shit and sand it back?
No, but
okay.
I've been tempted, but no.
Because if I could make guitars with an air nailer and masonite, I'd be making Dan Electros.
Well, you gotta remember it's a topography, man. So if you got wood and it's got 220 grain scratches in. The sealer to polyester, or if you're using nitrocellulose, you know how long that shrinks back.
Yeah.
So you would want to go much higher with the nitros, so you don't have to deal with that grain fade back.
I go with the polyester with nitrocellulose on top of that.
Right.
So I kind of can get that nitro flavor.
Right.
And without it shrinking into the wood for 25 years.
Yeah, man, because that polyester does a number. And you know what? And that polyester's been around for an awful long time. Fender Musical was, pretty much known for the 60s for just dipping their guitars in the shit hanging upside down. So it gives you the millage that you want. But, as a manufacturer, they get carried away with it. So it's kind of a turnoff.
Now, this is kind of going outside of the idea of our video here. But so can we agree that, and for all those people who say you got to have nitro, you got to have this, that, or the other, as long as it's thin, it doesn't really matter, right? If you want the tone of the wood to come out, just don't glop it on there like the imported guitars do with that super, super thick shit, right?
Yeah, you can certainly overburden the wood.
Okay.
Another thing too, though, some of the softer, denser materials, like say enamel, guys who are, I can't tell you how many I've had in my shop, but people are actually going out and getting Krylon and spraying their guitars with it. And that's just like gum. I can still take my thumbnail into that a year. Now that stuff is so soft that it's actually absorbing frequencies. It might not be the fundamental tone, but it's going to be diminishing your first, your second, your third harmonics. Things that aren't as strong in strength. They're going to start cutting those things back.
Okay.
So if you're using a substrate that's very rigid, like the polyester or lacquer, but it takes time for it to get to that point.
It's something that's a hard finish.
Yeah, and the polyester works great. I take it back as far as I can to the point where I'm almost sanding through it.
Okay.
And that way you don't have that typical, hey, I just bought an Ibanez with a 1/4 inch. Metal.
Yeah. But you get that nice smooth flat surface. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you shoot it with that stuff, you got to get it all nice and flat, because if you paint it, or no, if it looks like shit and you paint it,
it's probably still shit with paint on it.
Looks like painted shit. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll bring you up to speed. Thanks.
Cheers.